Hello everyone. I have an awesome video for you today. It is on an expansion of a great game, so great that I included it in one of my videos, top 10 games of all time. My top 10 games of all time. And if you missed that, I'll link that up right here for you to watch it. So it is on Fort. So the expansion to this is Cats and Dogs. And I just wanted to say a huge shout out to Leader Games who did send this copy for me to review for you guys. So thank you, Leader Game. Before we get into everything, I am Krissy and this is my channel, Two Sheep, One Wheat, where I go through board games. So if you take a look at my channel and you find that there is a board game missing that you would like to see more of, please like this video and comment down below what board game that is. And then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell notification so that you'll be notified when I do cover that board game video. Why can't I get that? No, I'm gonna redo that. So since I'm reviewing the expansion for you for Fort, I'm gonna go a little bit over Fort and what it does so that you can better understand what the expansion is changing within the game. So in Fort, this is for 2 to 4 players. So you are basically playing as children. You have a set of best friends in your hand. You have all these different children cards that you're going to be playing, and they all have unique features and unique abilities on their cards that you can play, trying to get you points and be able to fort and place cards in your lookout, basically all just different kid things, all while trying to get toy boxes and pizzas. Now you're playing all of your cards, and any cards with kids on it that you have remaining will go into your yard right here, and if they're there, they're kind of up for grabs because you didn't play with them. So the point to the game is to play your cards, to get toy boxes, and to get pizza so that you can up your fort level, which gives you a bunch of different points. Now there are cards that will give you points on the score track right here, the victory track. So the game ends whenever you get to 25 on the victory track, or the first person to fort all the way to 5. Along the way, you can collect some different benefits on some cards that you, depending on where your level of fort on this track right here. And at the end of the game, you're going to be tallying every point, and whoever wins or whoever has the most points at the end of the game is the player who wins. Now I'll go over the expansion. So some things that change in Fort whenever you add the Cats and Dogs expansion. So instead of getting your 2 best friends and 8 just friend cards here, you're actually going to be collecting your 2 best friends and only 5 of these cards, because now what's replacing 3 of these cards is 3 dog cards. And because this is Cats and Dogs, you have these cat cards right here. Now you're going to be placing the cards face up right here for however many players there are. So if you have 3 players, you place 3, 4 players, you place 4, and if you have 2 players, then guess what? 2 cats will be on the table for you to steal? No, for you to attract and lure so that you can play with this little cute alley cat. So now while you have all of that set up, you are given a dog house for somewhere for your dogs to go once you're able to collect them. So this all comes in your colors, in your player colors, so there are 4 of them. Now we'll go over what the dog expansion does. So if you end up with a dog card in your hand on your turn and you do not use them, these dog cards need to be placed into your yard. Now come around to your next turn. If your dog is in your yard, you need to discard your dog because they are not loyal to you because you did not use them. So they get placed into your neighbor to the left of you in their discard pile, so chance for them to get to play with them and have that dog loyal to them, because whoever has the most dogs under their dog house is able to get an extra 7 points towards their end goal or their end score. Every dog has a different ability on them. Now the abilities are some good, some great, some give you extra points, but the way to gain some of these cards is that you have to meet the criteria that is here. So this one, you need to add 2 suits from your hand that are different from each other and they are not a crown. So you have to meet that requirement to be able to gain the benefit here. And then whenever you do and you are able to, you can place them in the doghouse just like so. Other ones, this one add 2 books. This one says +1 card in your lookout, spend 1 resource. All of them are completely different, and whatever you're able to do, whenever you're able to do them, for whichever dog that you end up with in your hand on your turn, you will be able to play them and place them under the doghouse, because again, that will give you an extra 7 points if you have the most dogs in your doghouse at the end of the game. For the cat expansion, the cats are attracted to certain things. Unlike the dogs that you need to meet the requirement for you to actually use them, cats start off over here and they're attracted to people who meet those requirements. So Kingsley here is attracted to 2+ crowns in a yard at the end of the turn. Whenever you attract Kingsley here, they will just go by your board so that everybody knows that this is what's going on. Now these ones get to stay with you until somebody else meets that requirement here. So if somebody else has 2+ crowns in their yard, then they would be the ones that would attract the cat. So because you know cats, when they've had enough of petting, they just wander away. They don't want too much loving. So that was Kingsley, and again, all of these are all different. Dumpling here is attracted to 3+ cards in the yard at the end of your turn, and Cilantro is attracted to 2+ books in a yard at the end of the turn. Now again, all of the benefits here are kind of similar to the dogs. This one here for Cilantro says, whenever you recruit from the park deck, you draw 2 cards, not 1. Choose 1 and return the other to the bottom of the park deck. This one here, Dumpling says, whenever you use your fort action, you must spend 1 more resource. So some of the cats are good, some of them are a little bit more moodier than the other cats. So Dumpling, one of them. So Kingsley here, score 2 points at the end of the game in addition to normal cat scoring. So even though some of the cat's benefits and effects are maybe not the best, especially like Dumpling here that makes you use more of your resources, at the end of the game, depending on how many cats that you have in your hand, you actually score points based off of it. So I think 1 point 1 cat is 1 point, 2 cats is 3 points, and then it keeps going on like that. So the more cats that you have and that's attracted to your yard, then the more points that you're gonna end up with too. So this expansion for cats and dogs, just really super cute, because the game being kids and like neighborhood, like just cute, fun things, you're gonna come across their animals. So what a better way to add cats and dogs into this expansion and really just bring out more personality to these kids, and another way to add extra points to this game. This game really isn't a very high scoring game, so to be able to add in these cats and these dogs, that will give you not a bunch of extra points, but really help you work towards it, because like dogs, only the person who has the most dogs in their doghouse is the player who gets the 7 points. And then if you end up with the most cats, like I was just saying, then you get more points too. And I also enjoyed that it didn't completely change the rules to the game. The only thing that it did change was, instead of 8 cards that are being dealt to you, plus your 2 best friends, then you were only getting 5 of those cards and 3 dogs so that you work with. Something else that's really cool, I thought, was that the dogs, if you don't use them, you lose them, which is basically your, not best friends, but just your regular cards that you have, your friends. If you don't use them, they're going to wander and they're going to try somebody else to play with. The only ones that do get to stay with you, again, are your best friends here. So I thought that that was neat, and definitely staying on track with kind of everything else. And then the fact that the dogs are still up for grabs. Somebody can take those dogs if they are in your yard, but once they're in your yard, you're not stuck with this exact same amount of dogs or the same type of dogs, the same cards. Those get placed into the discard pile to your partner on the left here. I guess not your partner because you're trying to win against them. So it goes into their discard, and so the dogs are just kind of moving around, and you have the option and you have the option to, if you can't fulfill this one, say you have only crowns in your hand, so you wouldn't actually be able to get this puppy here, Barkley, which is a pretty cute name, and a whole bunch of drool. So if you're not able to get those, because again, depending on what cards that you get, maybe you might be working towards a different suit than what Barkley here has to offer. So the way that the dogs all move around, and if you want to use them, or if you're trying to work more towards the cats, then the option is there. You can kind of move around and feel and see what is working for you and what type of cards you're getting. So no worry there. There are a whole bunch of different dog cards here too. I can go over some of these. Okay, Watson is just super cute. This one, fort level, 1+1+ card in your lookout. Echo, you have to add 1 suit from your hand, except books. Like I was saying, all different requirements that are used for the dogs. Drover here looks a little not too happy. He must have gotten left behind quite a few times here. And then all of the abilities on the cards okay, Eclair, I have a white poodle. So this one does look a little green, but this one hits a little close to home with this poodle, Eclair. That is such a poodle name too. So Eclair here, fort level 2+, 1+ card in lookout. Violet. This one is so cute. This one you just have to add 3 cards with it. Oh geez, I thought the poodle was my favorite, but Ranger here in these glasses, I don't know. That one's pretty cute. So this one, you may discard any number of kids from your lookout. Then you may add up to 2 kids to your lookout from your hand and discard pile. Oh, and then you add Ranger to the doghouse. Gain 3 resources from the supply and add them to your stuff and or pack in any combination. Add pesto, and it's on a green card. That's pretty cute. To your doghouse. Oh my gosh, Pumpkin here is eating a piece of pizza, which is pretty fitting because we have pizza in toy boxes. I wonder if there's any dog in here that's eating any toys. Pork Chop here. I can't see his cute little face, so I don't know what kind of dog he is. But fort level 1+, add 2 skateboards with this card to be able to gain the benefit here, which is gain up to 3 resources from the supply and add them to your stuff and or pack in any combination. So as you can see, oh my god, Floofer. That's a pretty good name for Floofer here. So all different benefits here, and then all different ways that you have to, oh, here's the toys. Squeaker's eating all these toys here. So all different requirements to be able to gain the benefit on these. Now, if you're not a dog person, you don't have to play with the dog expansion. You can actually just play with the cat expansion if you wanted to, and then vice versa with the dog expansion. You can also play with them both together, which is what I did. I love both animals, so I had to play with both of them. I think I may have liked the cats a little bit more just because not that I so much had any say over getting which cat, because whatever cards you land with in your hand that you didn't use, you're placing down in your yard. So you're kind of more just focusing on the cards that you're actually playing for that turn, right? Whatever you want to do, whether it's forting or putting cards in your lookout or collecting resource, you're not actually paying attention to the cards that you're placing down. So I enjoyed even the cats and the dogs. They all have the abilities on there that still most of the cards already kind of have, but it's just adding an extra card in there for you to really be able to fully put your plan into motion and get most of the cards that you need, or get the most points that you need. Whatever your goal is that you're working for, I think the cats and dogs really just amplify that a little bit. It's just an extra way to make your plan work, really, is what I'm trying to say. So I think I did enjoy the cats a little bit more. Now the dogs also, I really enjoyed that you are shuffling them kind of between every player. So you get a chance to really see. So our last game that we played 3 players. So that would be 9 different dogs that were on the table, versus whenever I just play with Nick, and then we would only have 6 cards. So if you don't have the specific cards in your hand, because most of them, well, all of them, because this is a card game. So both of them, cats and dogs, is all depending on what type of cards that you have left over in your yard, or whatever cards that you have in your hand that you're able to play for that turn. So the cats are a benefit that's happening to you ongoing until they leave. The dogs are instead you're using that as your turn. So instead of placing your cards down to get the benefit that's on those cards, like getting resources and placing them in your stuff, or you're placing them in your backpack, or you're placing a card in your lookout. So, which is what a typical turn would look like. But now with the dog adage, you can play the cards, whatever you need to do. Requirement here for the card just to gain that one-time benefit right here. So the thing with this is if somebody has 4 dogs in their dog house, I don't think that you're going to be trying to waste a turn by placing the dog in its dog house if you're not going to be gaining the 7 points at the end. But because there is a benefit on the dog, if it can get you more points to help you towards the end to try to get the most points, then playing a dog card would really come in handy at that specific time, even though you're not going to be gaining that 7 points. Overall, obviously, like, I loved it. I love playing with the cats and the dogs expansion. I think to get the full experience, you need to play with both of them. Didn't change the game, didn't change like time frame or anything like that. It's not adding anything time-wise to the game, and it's not changing any rules. Again, just other than adding 3 dog cards to your hand. So it's not changing anything like that. It's literally just amplifying the game just that little bit more, adding more of a story to it, and then because of the expansion, the potential to gain more points really push you towards the edge of winning the game. So that is what the Cats and Dogs expansion is doing, and really just in such a cute little box here. So you know it's not even that expensive to buy and play it with Fort. And I think you're playing with cute little kids anyway in the neighborhood, backpacks and lookouts and food and toys, and now you're playing with cute dogs and cats. It just really adds to the whole game. So if you really enjoy Fort, and it is, I think, an awesome game to begin with, so this game the expansion just adds to it, in my opinion. So if you already enjoy Fort, so I know that you already enjoy the type of artwork and the type of style that it is, I think that you're really going to enjoy the Cats and Dogs expansion. So this was the review for the expansion Cats and Dogs to Fort. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you next time. Wait, what? What is happening? What is happening? I don't understand this.